That idea.
I think would be pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But for right now, it's only 4 of the. Okay. Whatever.
I get to sit over there? Can I still sit down here?
If you just take your beard and roll it back over your ears, does that count as a mask?
I've asked so many people and they keep yelling at me no.
You would
It
have.
covers my mouth and nose. It filters.
Yeah.
Beard is a filter. It filters everything out.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes care of that one.
Pretty recent. I didn't think the ones were that.
And as long as this quarantine and social distancing is going, I'm not touching the length. So I'm saying this is how long we've been in quarantine.
What was it? It wasn't like,
So I had a full beard, but it wasn't growing out.
right.
I
It was just a
keeping it
beard,
Yeah,
but you were
just a
keeping it
nice short
trimmed.
beard. This is the length of the quarantine so far.
Wow.
This is a COVID beard.
It's down to his knees, we're all in
Length of
trouble.
the COVID.
Wow.
That's funny. Looks like we got about 3 minutes.
So what's your benchmark for saying, oh, time to shave? Is it CDC? Is it your comfort level, or?
I'd say it's a mix of both because, like, especially with Florida, our numbers are still a little bit too high for comfort. But if we got to the point, you know, it doesn't have to be 0, but where most places lift their restrictions and, you know, chains lift their restrictions. Then I have to determine if I'm going to braid it or trim it.
I mean, I could get some good braiding action on that.
Think so? I got to straighten it first, but
Yeah, that's doable. It's doable.
I already have the beads. You know.
Glitter?
From Dennis?
I'm not.
Yeah, as far as I know, he
Commenting on
planned
glitter.
on being here, so.
Okay.
My feelings are very
But,
similar.
you know, that's another one.
Yeah,
Except I dance.
because it's been a number that he's
Like,
missed also.
Belly
Never
dance
attended.
and Polynesian.
Oh, never
stuff. So
attended.
when you perform,
Except for when he was
this last
pointed.
performance I had, one girl just
So,
had a
yeah,
handful
maybe-
of very fine silver glitter.
Maybe
She
just
went,
keep an eye on it and have a
Oh,
discussion at
no.
the next
Over me, and I was
meeting,
like-
or we'll talk
Yeah.
about off meeting, how it's handled.
Okay. Jack, who only wants to be an alternate, attends every one of
Right
these.
next to my face.
I don't blame you.
I don't need sparkly lungs.
No, it's probably
Well,
not.
Jack's not hearing me because he's putting in a new battery. That's all right, he still has 2 minutes left anyway.
Great.
I might just silence my phone.
Do you have,
Why
you
did
need to
they
air
weren't recent?
Yeah, they were having, the High Compass people had said they had handled it, but the reason the HTML code is in there is they're trying to make the headers more accessible for readers, and then,
So does this come out of laser feed?
I'll have to see if Charter Review, how it came out. What?
Does this come out of laser feed?
High Compass, different software.
A whole new software?
Those softwares.
Start whenever you want to, don't worry about me.
They're not too bad.
Can you hear us?
Apparently in
Yeah, if you
Tucson,
speak loud enough.
Okay.
Just,
Well, we got like 30 seconds before we're at 4 o'clock, so
just auxiliary hearing.
there you go. All right, that works.
The jealousy.
Memorial Park, it doesn't, it's not, yeah. See, because it is.
You got some time for
All right, you guys ready? Ann, you ready?
Yes.
All right. So today is Monday, April 26th. Time is 4 p.m. And calling this meeting to order. And let's start with our Pledge of Allegiance. As always. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, first item, as always, citizens open forum. However, I do not see anyone here for citizens open forum. So we will move on to the first agenda item. The first agenda item is approving the minutes dated September 28, 2020. And I believe the reason that we're approving those is because we did not have a quorum at the 25th meeting. Okay. So hopefully you guys took a look at the minutes ahead of time. Is there any discussion before we call a vote for the approving of the minutes? All right. So do I hear a motion?
Motion.
All right, and a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so the minutes for September 28th are approved. Then we have the minutes for January 25th, which of course there was no meeting held, so there's no discussion on that. And the reason there was no meeting held is there was not a quorum. So do I have a motion to approve the January 25th minutes?
Same.
All right, and second, all approved?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. All right, next agenda item is discussing Memorial Day ceremony.
All
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to let Bryn talk about the Memorial Day ceremony. We
Alrighty.
did have a meeting this morning with our marketing department to go over some of the aspects. We are planning on having a virtual meeting, a virtual ceremony again. So, but I'll let Bryn explain.
All right.
So as Chip said, we are going to have a virtual ceremony just like we did with Veterans Day. The likelihood is it's going to be set up exactly like Veterans Day. We will be streaming it both on Facebook and YouTube. John, if you don't mind emceeing for us again, as
Okay.
usual.
Yep.
We are working on the script right now, so we'll get that to you guys as soon as we can. We are anticipating it being about 30 minutes. We have the color guard lined up. It's the same one that did it at Veterans Day, so they already know where they're going to be placed and everything. Katie Ducharme will sing the national anthem again for us. And instead of a keynote speaker, we plan to have Tony Gross just do the presentation regarding the Gold Star families.
Okay.
And the mayor will provide his mayoral message and closing remarks. So that's kind of the flow of how the ceremony will go.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things with kind of having a shorter ceremony, it's being virtual. You know, once we can get back out there and we're in the park again, you know, it makes more sense to go to, you know, the kind of bigger ceremonies. It's only so long that you can keep people on Facebook and everything watching these kind of events. If you guys,
Well, I had thought for a while that, you know, being they opened Ari Olds Park and had the big fair this weekend or whatever, and they had a crowd, and we never have 800 some plus people at our ceremonies, although some of them are pretty close, that it would have been a little logistic problem, you know, like I said, setting up, getting speakers, getting everybody in place in less than 30 days. So,
right.
you know, it's that I was in favor, sort of, just because of time constraints of having the virtual once again this year.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much because of the COVID or the distancing or anything like that. It was just strictly due to the time factor that we
Yeah.
had.
Plus, we like to have our older population who've been you know, they like coming from the nursing home and stuff like that. And even from that, kind of the planning of that to have it safe for them and everything. I think this is, you know, most of the Oldsmar days is, you know, young people who are, you know, not as susceptible and stuff like that. So, you know, for all those reasons, I think it makes sense to do it virtually again. Okay, good. And thanks again for you guys for everything that you do to put these together. It's,
We'll keep our fingers crossed for Veterans Day.
yeah,
Try to get it
it better be by Veterans Day. Goodness.
Yep.
If you do have people that show up, how are you handling them?
It's a closed ceremony.
I understand that,
Here.
but if somebody drives into the park expecting that because they didn't get
Oh,
the
over the
word-
park? We marketed that it's a virtual event, no event in the park, so.
Okay.
And we can even put it up on the marquee sign that's out there, you know, virtual event visit.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be cool if we could do that.
Yeah.
And we didn't necessarily have any issues with that for Veterans Day when we did it here as well, because we did mark it ahead of time that it would be a virtual event.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like the sign idea.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great idea.
because people might be wondering this year just because of the Oldsmar days that just happened and everything. Also, we worked out the kink of that it'll be like saved or whatever, so that it can be
Yes,
rewatched.
we did work out that kink.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. I mean, hey, it was a first
That was our
time.
first one, learning curve, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've had other ones since then, so.
So
Okay.
We certainly know better moving forward.
Very, very good. Very good. Cool. All right. Any other discussion from any other board members on Memorial Day ceremony? All right. Well, let's move on to discuss adding ex officio team members to the Veterans Advisory Board.
Right.
And that
so-
was page 7 in our packet is a resolution from the city, if you guys took a look at that. And are you going to?
Right, so Resolution 96-26 allows certain boards to have ex officio team members. And this does, it builds community service and, the social interactions and civil, public support and everything. It's just that I had noticed that this resolution was kind of out of date. It says Parks and Rec instead of Leisure Services. And it occurred to me that it might be a good idea for Veterans Advisory Board to have 2 ex officio team positions. And before I made that recommendation to council, I definitely wanted to run it by you guys, and then if you could vote on it, that would be great.
All right, thank you. So personally, I think it would be a great idea to have our youth kind of seeing that type of things of what we do at the Veterans Board, just as much as they, go and do the Leisure Services Board and everything. So, I don't see any issues with it personally. I mean, we're in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, but a lot of the upper level schools of kids that would be coming to this, they're out of school early enough, I think, to attend our meeting. So
I definitely agree. I think it would be pretty interesting if we marketed it towards the JR OTC kids as well, because even though they're thinking about getting into the military, this will be a good look at what happens after your military career. So I think that would be a great marketing point for JROTC.
yeah, and I think for the teens that would be able to be appointed to the board or whatever, it follows kind of the same as the like Oldsmar resident kind of thing, and
Right, they have to be an Oldsmar resident, and I think it's between the age of 15 and maybe 17 or 18. It's in the
It
resolution.
can't be
but-
18, says
yeah.
the resolution.
Yeah, 13 and 18 you have on that.
Good.
resolution, so.
Yeah.
Will the council select them, or will we be able to interview them?
You would interview them, and it's not like we have a rush for these positions normally. It kind of, they kind of have a rhythm of their own, but you would make a recommendation to council, and then they go to counseling, and there's a little bit of fanfare, and yay, good for you, just good stuff.
I understand. I didn't know if council just arbitrarily picked.
No, they don't pick. You make a recommendation.
Okay, so we'll get a chance to talk to them and see.
Absolutely.
it would be same as like appointing a board member, which even when we vote on it, it still goes to council for. them
Right,
to
I
sign
understand.
off
I
on.
didn't know if we had the chance to.
Yeah, yeah, they apply and just, it'd be the same as Leisure Services Board, right?
Yes, right.
So when I was on the Leisure Services Board, we have, teams that would apply in the same way that we do for the board and kind of go through the same thing of introduce themselves and then the board members vote on it,
Okay.
just like we appoint them.
Great.
I think that would be excellent practice for them too, just
Yeah.
to do the interview process.
Yep, absolutely. Any other discussion? Does somebody want to make a motion to have a vote on that? All right, so,
Make a motion. We
all right,
vote on it.
make a motion.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Good.
All right, all right. So it carries. So then we're making the recommendation, the motion is, we're making a recommendation to update the resolution to include the Veterans Advisory Board? Is that basically, and then that'll go to city council for them to
Correct.
vote on it, to put in the resolution itself? Okay, great, thank you.
That's right.
All right, review the new marquee entrance sign.
Okay, I'm gonna drop some stuff off for you guys.
Awesome. That sounds great, because Ours looks kind of, needs to be looking better. Ooh.
All right, so we have in the budget this year to replace the sign, the marquee sign at the entrance to the park. And staff reviewed, and you can see on the back there too, we looked at a couple of different designs for signs and kind of what fit the park itself. And after going online and checking out what some other marquee signs looked like that were nice with brick and stuff, we kind of selected this one just because we liked it because of the brick and the way that it matched kind of the pavers that we have in the park already. Some of the other ones that we look at on the back of there, maybe like the one in the top right-hand corner should be like more of an entrance to a foresty type park. The one in the middle on the left is more, it just didn't fit our design idea for what the park would be. So we are in the process of, with our purchasing department to get quotes on a sign such as the one that's on the front. So we wanted to share that with you guys and let you know what we're looking to do out there, because the sign that's out there now certainly is purposeful, but it's past its time.
So one quick question about it is, it's where you're able to actually put the letters and stuff like that, it looks like on this one would be like lower to the ground than this
Yes.
one? Is, have you guys looked at that just from a visibility standpoint?
Sure, yes, when you pull up, if you're going south on Shore Drive, the park's on your right, just when the bushes that are there at the front on the west side, they don't block it so much. When you pull up to the stop sign, you can see the sign perfectly fine. If you're coming from the east going west, you can see the sign perfectly fine. This sign is lower. This sign's only 5 feet tall to the top at the peak.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit lower, which is nice as well. Yeah, we've
I'm sure if you can read, if you can see this part of the sign from the street.
right.
Then you'd be able to see that probably.
Yes.
Just kind of looking at it. Okay. And, because I see, is it going to be in the exact same spot? So like the fire hydrant there and everything?
Yes, it'll be in that same spot.
Yeah. As long as it just, kind of looking at it, make sure the fire hydrant doesn't block it and,
And you can see
Stuff
that
like
first
that.
bollard in the picture that, I think, Mark, you brought these pictures. These bollards, that white bollard there,
Yeah.
we'll remove that and we'll move that back since it's wider than this sign as well.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So we'll move that back so there's no obstruction in front of it.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Is this lit at night?
It does have capability for
backlit?
lighting, yes, backlit,
It's backlit?
backlit.
Oh, nice.
And the other question is, there's, I guess, a certain amount of information that you can put on this sign, and that correlates to the amount of,
This one's smaller but wider. That one's, so it'll correlate. A lot of the stuff that we put on there are for events and things like that. So a lot of times it's better to have less words on a marquee than to have
Right.
more. So, get to the point kind of thing.
Yeah.
but it's probably comparable.
And you can space it out a little bit more so it's not so compressed.
I think 90% of what goes on there is, Jill and Mary.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
Jill
congratulations
and
on-
George. Whoops.
Right.
Although there's been some of that too. But anyway,
No, question. Have I been driving by this sign for years?
What's that?
This sign that we have a picture, have I actually been driving by this
Yeah.
yeah.
for years and I didn't notice it? Okay. Because, I mean, it's very possible that, it's, you're kind of
You just
laser
go.
focused, you're going on one place or
Yep.
whatever. And because that was one of the things that I said, because if we do have the new memorial, I see on this one, it's right. It has veterans without the apostrophe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And,
I made a note of that because the first design that came through from the very generous person who put these together for us, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
no
Yeah.
apostrophe.
yeah, because the ones on the back all have the comments on it.
Right,
so-
that's the ones that she had done first. Since we weren't selecting those, I didn't have her change the apostrophe on that
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
it's, that was compliments of my wife. She, kind of a stickler for spelling and
Yep.
and punctuation, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, we just wanted to provide that information to y'all.
Very good. I think that's great. And what's the timing you think it's going to happen?
It's with our purchasing department right now to go out for a competitive bid. So it'll be out on the street once they put it out for 2 weeks, receive the bids back, and hopefully sometime here this summer we'll have that new one up.
Awesome.
Certainly before Veterans Day, because that's in November.
Cool.
Okay, let me ask you about the competitive bids. Does the city have to take the lowest bid?
Well, so we send out the specs for the sign itself. So all the specs need to meet the certain parameters that we've set for it. So typically, yes, we do take the lowest bid. That's kind of that's why we put it out for quote.
As long as it meets all the specs, in other words.
As long as they follow the specs that are in there, materials and size and, yep.
That's too bad, but okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion, questions or anything on that? Okay, we'll go to the next item, which is discuss formalizing guidelines for adding future names to the Fallen Soldiers Memorial.
Right, so when the Fallen Soldiers Memorial, like the plaques were added, when Tony Gross came up here and talked to the mayor and council about it, the idea was that every 10 years, more names could be added. And then I think they said something about family living here for a while. But I just feel like just something to think about is what those guidelines should be, because in another 10 years it could come up, or somebody might be coming up in 5 years and say, oh, I lost somebody and I want their name on there. And so if whatever the guidelines are, if they're already established, it'd make it easier to address any future requests.
And you're saying that they had discussed this at City Hall from Tony?
No, Tony Gross came up to council, and this was right before the weekend of the Gold Star Family Day last year. And what she said was, she said their idea is, that every 10 years, if there could be another plaque to update it. There's only a finite space for plaques, and so. Who do you include and stuff like that? Do you have any more comment on that?
No, because
yeah.
because there's only 4 spots. There's only 4 sides.
Right,
So,
and 2 of them are taken now.
right, with one name each.
So their idea was that in 10 years, another plaque could go up there. Well, who qualifies to go on that plaque?
Right.
It's just something. And I don't know if you guys just want to give us some thought, maybe talk about it at the next meeting in July, or how you want to do it, but it's something that should happen.
I would think that obviously we would need to talk about the guidelines for it as far as what the criteria is for someone to be on the plaque or to have, be added. However, I don't understand the 10-year part or whatever. That doesn't.
I think she was trying to get the space to last longer because it is so finite and there's only 2 more spots. I don't know.
So with multiple names instead of just singular names.
Yeah.
And that way, if there was multiple names that were going over a 10-year period, we could accumulate those and then have those on there as well, instead of just having 4 people total.
And the hope is that there wouldn't be any names
Right.
to add.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So, again, the timing of things doesn't, God forbid I wouldn't want this to happen, but let's say, 2 years from now, we have a Oldsmar resident and we're involved in some other major conflict, and, he dies posthumously and he's a Medal of Honor recipient. It's not like, we're not, we can't put him on the plaque for another 8 years. Even though this guy's gotten the highest, guy or gal got the highest decoration that you can get dying in service, kind of thing. So I think, me personally, as we discussed through this, is the criteria of who would be added to that memorial much outweighs some arbitrary length of time to reevaluate. Is my absolute first thought,
Well, the 3 people that are on there are KIAs, are they not?
There's 2, right? I thought we have 2 names.
The one on the back, we have the 2 on the front, which was Gross and
Hummelhoff.
Hummelhoff. And then we have one on the back.
The one in the back has like 2 or 3 names, I think.
I can't remember.
Yeah, at least 2 names.
Were they KIAs also, or?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
My
Yeah.
understanding is they were KIAs, but they didn't live in Oldsmar.
They didn't live in Oldsmar at the time,
Yeah, or I don't think they lived in Oldsmar at
but
all.
their parents lived in Oldsmar.
Correct, family members
The,
live
the
in
family
Oldsmar.
members lived in
Okay.
Oldsmar, but
Currently do.
the children did not at the time of, that they were KIA.
Okay,
I mean, you're just opening all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, you're gonna spaghetti this thing, it's just going all over the place, like, who goes on, where'd they go on, where were they killed, what time, how old were they? Did they wear glasses, you know, you name it. I think if we're going to do that, and we have to, you know, tune it or whatever, or even move the ones, we have a single on the back. Now, I don't know how, nothing's really totally permanent unless it's welded on there. I'm sure glue is pretty good on there, but if you take that off of there and even moved it to the side, if we have to put another plaque on there, and then do you wait till you have 2 names or 3 names on there? Well, you know, and then it just could, it's gonna take some thinking.
yeah, no, and maybe we do table this and kind of noodle it a little bit and come back with some ideas, you know.
Who is formalizing the guidelines? Is that this board is
Yes,
formalizing it, or is that?
I'm asking for you guys to come up with criteria
So
to
we're
prevent exactly
responsible
what.
for writing
Yeah.
that
Right.
document.
Correct.
I would say we should probably table it because there is a lot to think about
Yep.
on that. We should probably come back with a couple ideas in hand.
Yeah, if we just maybe start a draft document,
Right, yeah, just
It's
keep
got-
picking
That we
the
can
departments
discuss,
and-
yep,
Yeah.
start with that.
Right,
yep, I agree. Obviously, we can't talk about it offline because of the sunshine law, but we can each individually kind of come up with, you know, different ideas. Now, if we do have a question, it could be sent to you.
Correct, you can send me questions and then,
And we
Yeah.
can send you an email with ideas or maybe some verbiage that might be in that guideline, and you're just gonna consolidate it then?
yeah, I'll just put it all together, or it depends on how it comes in. You know, maybe I just put each of your things as backup in the next packet, or maybe I send it ahead and say, hey, think on this, and then, you know, a month before the next meeting or something, so.
All right, so it's a
we'll see
work
how
in
it comes
progress.
Correct.
All right, any other questions, discussion? Oh, all right, let's go to the next item, Patriot shirts. So we've been talking about this for like a year now, and, you know, again, everything's been so crazily kind of closed down and everything. I know that, I can't remember, was it Frank or Mark or one of you guys were gonna, okay, it was you, that you were gonna look somewhere?
I did, as a matter of fact, I probably brought Ann a couple different places that they were doing it, and different design, I mean, there's, once again, as the last one, not as serious, but the same criteria holds. There's so many different designs, so many styles.
Yeah, as long as we come up with something that looks patriotic, and then we
Right.
agree on it, you know, that's,
Like I said, it's, and just get the consensus. I guess it depends on, one of the things on what we're allowed to, how much we're allowed to spend. I had given you, I don't know if it's still around anymore, you know, just different samples of shirts and styles and shapes and sizes. The problem with that is a lot of the companies they don't want to do 10 shirts. Okay, they want to do it in, like I said, and I, as a matter of fact, I had thought that you were going to check with the Knights of Columbus guys down there where they order their shirts from. 'Cause they, yeah, whether third or fourth degree, they both have really nice shirts
right, right.
in their company. The one that I was going to for the longest time, and I kept on going back, and they're still really closed. They're really not busy.
Is
There's one
Dunning
right-
Embroidery?
Pardon me?
Dunning Embroidery?
Well, there's the embroidery right across from Countryside High School, and there's the other place at Frog.
Yeah,
Yep. I think it's Frog.
Big
Anyway,
Frogs?
The one up by Pinch Penny or whatever. right
Yeah,
next
Big
door.
Frogs?
Yeah, so, I checked with them, and then there's one we get with the, Purple Heart shirts done in, place off of Belcher. I checked with those, so there was, but I guess we need a base design.
Yeah, just base design that we can all agree upon, and is that something that, like, if I have a design, I can send to you and you can send to the members?
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, I want to do it, we'll do it that way then.
And the other one that'll have them out now is coming on Memorial Day and 4th of July. Actually, probably one of the better ones to do is you go to Bell's. They actually have a really good price. They usually have a lot of, quote, Memorial Day or Veterans type shirts there. And I think as long as it's collared, has a little collar or soft collar on it, it'd be nice.
Well, there's the other option. So if you find like a regular shirt at Bell's or JCPenney or something you guys can agree on, then I can take them from you and I can go take care of the embroidery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that would be, cheaper on me.
yeah. So we would just buy the shirts ourselves, just, pay a pocket to buy them ourselves, but then give them to you and you'd embroider them?
Yeah, but I know you guys want something uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
I
We'd
know,
all
might
want to
be
find something
easy.
that matches and, that we all would want to have the same one or whatever. Well, we can look into that if you want to see, if you see something, then I'll also send you some, potential designs from, I can check with, the Coopers who do the.
Well, I mean, you
embroidering
look
for us.
on, the easy thing, look online too with the patriotic shirts.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a zillion of them. There's
Yeah.
just,
if we do find a place, rather than trying to get them at like a Bell's or whatever, we do find a place that we can order them, is there like a certain, budget or whatever for being able to get these kind of shirts? Or to be able to get us
I
license?
already bought you shirts.
Yeah, I know. So in other words, if we do this, it'll be on
I'd like to
us.
keep it as, low as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the realistic price is on the shirts
Okay.
either. Maybe once you guys look,
Yeah.
kind of look that you like,
Yeah,
then we'll proceed from there. And if it's too much, I'll just go back and say, like the Monopoly Man.
yeah, here you go.
Or I'll be good with it. I don't know till I see it. Because the other thing is, I would probably have to buy additional shirts, right? For new board members.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you're kind of like, well, okay, higgledy-piggledy again, because styles go out.
Yeah.
And
And maybe we don't
then-
buy a board member a shirt until they've been to at least 2 meetings in a row. Or at least one meeting at this
Probationary
point.
period, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. No, that makes perfect sense. I don't care. I'm perfectly fine buying, mine. I just want to make sure
Yeah,
everybody would be
well-
okay with that.
But do you guys then you're gonna send me some shirts?
Yeah, I'll send you some examples and, if you all, if you come across.
I'll do
something
the
as well.
same or whatever.
Okay.
And then you could, I guess you could just kind of,
I could send
we could do the clip art and just send it around to all of us and, hey, do we got a consensus on one
Yeah.
shirt? and
Okay.
stuff like that, as compared to waiting till next meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting any younger here, it's.
I know, we've been talking about it a long time.
I know.
Well, let's see what we get. I'll
Okay.
base it on the reaction.
All right, perfect, thank you. All right, next item is to approve the excused absence of Frank Chicola from the September 28th meeting and the January 25th meeting.
Could we add this one to it too?
Yeah, you can.
You-
So the reason that,
Yeah.
You want to pre-excuse them? Okay.
well, Frank had
Well, I
called
mean,
ahead.
he's not here and,
Have to
you
do it
said
again.
he can't come due to a COVID test, so.
Yeah, so he's got a medical reason this week where he has to quarantine and all that. He called me today, or actually yesterday, to let me
Okay.
know he would not be able to be here.
Excuse them in advance.
Yeah, I think that's excused.
I mean, just save some ink, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, is that a motion,
I so moved.
Mark? All right, and second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And then, approve the excused absence of Michael Brayton from the September 28th and the 25th meetings, and of course, he's not here today. I know from today also, it was a medical reason. Did the 28th and the 25th, I don't remember the reasons for those. But
Yeah, he did not provide a reason for the 28th. January 25th, it was a medical reason. Also, it was family medical, similar to today, but today
Okay.
there's an actual surgery involved, so.
Okay, all righty. Motion to.
So we're adding today's also on his then?
Yeah, we can do that, right?
Hmm.
Yep, okay. If that's your motion,
I so move.
and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, and then Alex, excusing your absence from January 25th. Do we have a motion?
Can I move on it myself?
No, I don't know.
A reason?
I was out of state.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, my wife.
Okay, okay, no, it doesn't have to be big, it just,
No.
it don't even have to be truthful, it just,
The house.
it just has to be,
Yeah, there you go. All right, are you making a motion to approve his absence?
I do.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Excuse my absence of the January 25th, and my only excuse is CRS. For some crazy reason, didn't have it on my calendar, and forgot about the meeting. Did not have it on my calendar for some reason and missed it.
Wow, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hope we can cut him a break on that one,
That's right.
I don't know.
I move.
Thank you. Second, all right, all in favor?
Uh,
Anyone opposed? Okay, good.
No, good, that wasn't the post.
Okay, good.
No,
All right, and approve the excused absence of Dennis from today's meeting. Now, he did not contact you about why he's not here today, so I wouldn't be adding his today, since we don't even know why he's not here. Do we know why he wasn't at the 25th meeting?
As I recall, I think that was also a health-related reason.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion to approve Dennis from the 25th meeting? All right, and second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Okay. Well, I remember years ago when, like, there was nobody ever gone from these meetings, and we were all at every single meeting. I know this is crazy times, but hopefully these guys that we appointed are gonna start coming to meetings. All right,
Do we have any open positions? Not on this,
no, we filled them, right? We filled Michael as a board member, and we filled, of course, Alex, but he's here, and Dennis as the other alternate. Those were our two open positions, but Dennis and Michael, ever since they've been appointed, haven't been to a meeting yet, so that's why it feels like we have open positions. So we'll see what happens between, hopefully next meeting they'll be here. All right, so board comments. Again, I just want to thank, all you guys, the legal department, for always, shouldering the heavy burden of putting all these different events together and everything. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all the work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any board comments?
I do.
Mark?
Yes, okay, being my fault, like I said, you had a CSR moment. I passed the veterans sign for years and really didn't notice it was spelled wrong, so it's, I guess that's my bad. Yeah, okay. The Purple Heart community sign that's out front, which is on page 2 of the packet, although it looks really good, well, it looks pretty good, fair. On the picture, I was wondering if our department that makes signs could actually make a new one of those, because they're having a problem with Purple Heart and who owns the organization, a lot of legalese with that, so I don't know that we could get another sign like that from Purple Heart. And I was wondering if your graphics department the one that makes the street signs and such, could make something like, because this is just like a piece of plastic up here anyway, and it is faded.
Are you looking for the same design? The same
Yeah,
exact sign?
yeah, it's-
Okay, yeah, we can probably, I'm assuming that this is probably also somewhere online, and we can research it and find it, and then get that to her, and we'll go ahead and request
yeah,
a new
just
one.
kind of get something made out of, not of plastic or
Okay.
whatever. Okay, so that'd be great, thank you. Okay, I guess it would be my third item. And I guess the best thing I can do is, what happened?
What happened where?
Yeah, what happened to the monuments?
Are you talking about, they've been cleaned by the staff. Do you know, when were the pictures taken?
2 days ago?
2 days ago?
Okay, staff cleaned them in early. The staff cleaned the monuments in early January, and in late January, the letters the letters were retouched by Cycadia Monument.
Okay, well, that was on page 3, I guess, or 4, because that's the next thing I didn't, because if you see where all the names are, I took that 2 days ago, okay? Whoever etched it missed, okay? And once again, that's why I asked, we keep using the low bidder, that's what we get, okay? These signs, when you got, it starts with J. Andrew Plack, and then goes down to, however you pronounce this,
Versace?
Salvoni, and then Vanes, and then Robert,
Burbage?
yeah, that looks exactly like it does. It's,
We'll go ahead and inspect them, because I know that, remember it was raining when they etched and, yeah. So, I'm not when they etched, when they painted.
moisture.
But we'll go ahead and inspect the names again. I know I was out there with him right before the new monument was put up, and we were marking names and with a crayon, and he was going out and doing them. So we'll follow up and see what
Well,
still
he-
needs to be done.
he missed those 3. But the stones look stained, you know, and especially if you look at the one on the last page. I'm just curious, what happened to the stones?
That's post. That's after they've cleaned it, right? I haven't seen them like that, Mark. I'll be honest with you. I'll have to go take a look at them. I'm not sure if they were wet, if it was still moist after a rain or something. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at them. I know Alexa said that they were cleaned, so we'll take a look at them.
This looks power washed.
They look ruined. I mean, that
Yeah, I
is about as close as you can see to what they look like. So whoever cleaned it, tried it, did it, whatever, there wasn't a drop of rain out there. That was,
So you're saying these pictures are pictures you just took?
yes,
Oh, okay, these were your pictures, and you just took them a couple of days ago?
I took them 2 days ago, or whenever I sent them to Ann.
We'll take a look at them. I haven't seen them like this, so we'll go ahead and
Okay.
take a look.
I just don't understand who did it, or why they did it, or what we can do to correct it, but, I mean, wow,
Yeah, we'll have to take a look first. I can't really comment because I haven't seen.
I mean, you want to call me out, I'll go out tomorrow morning with you or whatever, you know, no, I can't, I'm golfing. But, I'll go out with you, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
we can go out there this week, sometime this week. I'll look at my calendar, and we'll go take a look.
I mean, yeah, we have to do something, we got to polish them out, or, I don't know what can be done.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go and take a look.
All right, I mean, we could go after the meeting, I don't care.
Oh, we'll run down after the meeting. I just have to stop at the library first to pick up a book before they close at 5.
There you go.
Whatever, yeah, but we need an answer to this, I don't, you know, this is really, I don't even know how they'd fix that. So, or who did it, you know, I know the city was gonna city was supposed to clean it, and hopefully they didn't use the wrong chemicals or whatever on it, or acid wash it, or,
Yeah, to me, it looks like brushing strokes of a power washer, so I wonder if they were just hitting one spot too hard or something, but yeah, it looks a little messed up.
Well, I appreciate, Chip, you just, looking into it to see that we could.
okay, yeah, like I said, if you wanna get on after, so we can, instead of waiting till next meeting.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
All right, any other comments, Mark?
None.
Okay, Alex?
No.
Okay, Pat? All right. All right, well, any other comments from the city or anything? The department? No?
Looking forward to the Memorial Day event and
Oh, that's awesome.
forward.
All right, sounds good. Well, if that is the case, then do I have a motion for adjournment? And second, and all in favor? Aye. All right, so our next meeting, the meeting is hereby adjourned, and our next meeting is July 26th at 4 PM, which I might have to get a special hall pass for my wife for, because that is her birthday.
Ah,
So I may or may not, I may have to ask for it, but we'll see, what we have planned. All right.